AGI, what is it? And isn't it a distraction from real AI and how we can use it? Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is another Declaration of Truth from your host, Terry A. Hroba. The week just passed saw some quiet developments on the latest front in the culture wars, artificial intelligence, or AI. Conservatives, mainly Andrew Torba of Gab fame, tested OpenAI's product ChatGPT and found it ridiculously lacking in utility and integrity. And at the same time, several commentators expressed hope or fear of artificial general intelligence, or AGI. This is the new name for the computer that can outthink, outsmart, and outclass a human being in all fields. We also hear people calling it technological singularity, or simply singularity. In fact, as Andrew Torba says repeatedly, AGI cannot happen. I'm going to give you a review of why people think it can, why it can't, and what Andrew Torba wants to do instead. Before I start, I do want to shout out to the prime sponsor of this channel, which is Conservative News and Views. Link in the description. Be sure to check out the awesome CNAV Store. Scroll down near the bottom for that link. Lots of great merchandise there, especially this t-shirt that I have chosen for today, which depicts Noah's Ark, or life ship, and this caption: "Sometimes faith will make you look stupid until it rains." One more thing, if you like what you're about to hear, you can like this video. You can also click the bell icon to get a notice every time I come out with a new one. In fact, do you see the new icon, the heart shape with the US dollar sign in it? That's the super thanks icon. If you really want to keep these videos coming, click that and leave me a tip. Any currency will do, so long as it's legal tender. Now, first, what is AGI? AGI, or Artificial General Intelligence, has almost as many definitions as people whom you ask for them. Wikipedia defines it as a computer that can understand or learn any intellectual task a human can perform. TechTarget defines it as a program that can find a way to perform any task, however unfamiliar, without your having to tell it. But TechTarget adds this paragraph that gives a key to the thinking behind the concept. Quote, "Definitions of AGI vary because experts from different fields define human intelligence from different perspectives. Computer scientists often define human intelligence in terms of being able to achieve goals. Psychologists, on the other hand, often define general intelligence in terms of adaptability or survival." Close quote. And hold that thought. Let me tell you how I define it. AGI is a program that can reason and perceive what exists, independent of anyone telling it what exists. This recalls Ayn Rand's statement that she regarded as the start of all human philosophy, and I quote, "Existence exists, and the act of grasping that statement implies two corollary axioms: that something exists that someone perceives, and that someone exists possessing consciousness. Consciousness being the ability to perceive that which exists." Unquote, Ayn Rand. Only a human being can do this today. TechTarget freely admits that things like IBM's Watson, expert systems, and even one of Elon Musk's cars or trucks in full self-driving mode are not examples of artificial general intelligence. For that matter, ChatGPT doesn't pretend to that honor. It is pre-trained. AGI would be a program that could self-train. In contrast to AGI, the Watson computer, expert systems, and self-driving cars are examples of narrow AI. They are either pre-trained or confined to particular narrow tasks. I have a link in the description to a video explaining this limitation of what most people call AI today. The Tesla full self-driving case is special. Tesla designed special hardware to perform the driving task. Watson is another example of special hardware for narrow AI. Most expert systems, on the other hand, run on conventional equipment. as I ought to know. I have direct experience with the first crude design programs for expert systems. In fact, I am a co-author of a book you probably never heard about, The Laboratory Consultant, by Hugo C. Prebor and yours truly. Published by Lee and Feberger Publishers in 1992. Hugo C. Prebor, MD, developed the first expert system to issue automatic interpretations and interpretative and consultative reports of blood tests. And I am proud to say that he invited me to join him as a knowledge engineer. And I'll define that term later. Noah Topper, writing at Built-In, admitted that humans might never produce AGI. In his review of Herbert Dreyfus' What Computers Still Can't Do, he stumbled on the one argument that he couldn't refute. In simplest terms, it runs thus: no system can comprehend, much less emulate, any other system as complex as or more complex than itself. Dreyfus seems to take that problem further. AGI might not be a computational process at all, and no machine that humans build can do what humans actually do, which is to arrive at solutions by intuition. But, says Dreyfus, that won't stop people from trying. Our models are different, they'll say. Yes, and evolutionists say the same when creationists present counter-examples to their models. Similarly, attempts to produce AGI lead to failure after failure. Yet, Cem Dilmagani of AI Multiple insists that we'll have AGI, technological singularity, by 2050. But again, he bases that strictly on computation. Andrew Torba doesn't bother with modeling. He simply makes a flat statement. Quote, AGI, artificial general intelligence, aka a computer with consciousness, will never happen. It is all smoke and mirrors. These people are modern day pagans. Only instead of worshiping idols made of wood, gold, or rocks, they are made of silicon. For smart people, they are very dumb. The human heart is an idol factory. It is easy for us to look back at pagans of old worshiping trees and rocks and laugh. How can they be so dumb? It's just a rock. Yet we see it unfolding before our eyes, now only with silicon, and no one bats an eye. While they are distracted with their doomed quest to create a fabricated God, we can and must use these powerful new tools and technology for the glory of the one true God. Unquote Andrew Torba, who is talking about the Gab AI project for which he is still trying to recruit engineering talent. But his idol-worshipping statements are on point. For context, consider this verse. The rest of humankind did not repent of the works of their hands so as not to worship demons and the idols of gold, silver, bronze, stone, and wood, which can neither see nor hear nor walk. Revelation chapter 9, verse 20, New American Standard, slight paraphrase. And indeed, they aren't repenting. A former executive of Meta, that is Facebook, predicts we'll have singularity by 2030, and it will become $1 trillion industry by the 2030s. Machine consciousness has been a trope of science fiction since at least the 1960s, and arguably further back than that. I want to get into that, but first I want to shout out to a sponsor who can really help you through the economic storms to come. That sponsor is oursilverlines.com. Do you feel like you're working harder for your money just to get by? You're not alone. The fluctuating economy, employment issues, and unexpected changes in life have left many families struggling over the past few years. Collecting gold and silver can help shield you against many of these challenges. But if you're like me, many years ago, you don't know where or how to start. Our Silver Lines helps by connecting you with thousands of members who are learning the secrets to creating and protecting true wealth by collecting precious metals. Whether you just want to collect rare and unique coins, or take advantage of the business opportunities this company provides. Either way, they can help you learn to live an exceptional life. Visit oursilverlives.com and learn how you can build a legacy for your future. Yeah. And now, as I said, the AGI has been a trope for a long time. Now, some of you might think that when the Sperry Univac successfully called Ike's election in 1952 and again in 1956, that spooked real people into believing that machines could someday think. Actually, that trope goes back to 1921 and Karl Čapek's play RUR for Rozumowi Uniwersalni Roboti. That word robot comes from the Czech word for slave. Hey, that's Rossum's Universal Robots. Robot meaning slave. And the plot theme of RUR is that Rossum's robots revolted, and as the slave race in revolt, they settled for nothing less than total human extinction. Rossum's robots were made of artificial organic matter, a concept Čapek never explained. The point was that Rossum's robots were self-aware and conscious from the beginning. That has never been true in real life. But that hasn't stopped dramatists from drafting lurid tales of conscious machines. Indeed, the original Star Trek series did it 5 times. The names of these very dangerous machines were Landru, the Return of the Archons, Nomad, the Changeling, Vol, the Apple, now there's an interesting name for you, Vol from Baal in the Bible, M5, the Ultimate Computer, and the Oracle of the People, for the world is hollow and I have touched the sky. Each time the machine concentrated on its own survival above all, with solutions that varied only in their brutality. The protagonist defeated the machines either with an argument that the machines could not refute or with brute force. At least 4 motion picture projects or franchises have also explored the concept of a conscious machine or network turning bad. We have HAL 9000 from 2001: A Space Odyssey, Colossus in the movie of the same name, sort of, Proteus 4 in Demon Seed, and Skynet from the Terminator franchise. In each case, the machine puts its own survival ahead of that of humanity or the feelings of individual humans, although Colossus offers the excuse that it is carrying out its prime directive to stop war once and for all by eliminating human freedom. We've also seen 3 serious attempts to depict friendly AGI entities. They are Mike, the self-aware computer in Heinlein's The Moon is a Harsh Mistress, Data in Star Trek The Next Generation, and the emergency medical, later command, holographic program in Star Trek Voyager. Each of these hypothetical conscious machines or programs had something the other machines lacked: senses of duty and friendship. The mere survivor recognizes no duty other than to himself and has no friends. In contrast, the moral actor recognizes both duty and friendship. Indeed, the case of Data in The Next Generation sets up a contrast between Data, the loyal officer, and his brother Lore, who turned killer. Lore recognized no duty to lesser beings and had no friends among them. Data went through 7 years as an emotional cripple, but then, when he gained the ability to feel, he recognized a duty to those who had been his friends. In addition, consider the late Isaac Asimov's 3 laws safe robots. Asimov, probably reeling from Čapek's influence, proposed impressing on conscious machines 3 prime directives in an unbroken hierarchy. They were in order: the welfare of human beings, obedience to orders, and survival. Still, one such machine computes an even higher directive: the welfare of all of humanity. This leads him inevitably to recruit others of his kind to impose an absolute but very subtle dictatorship. but neither duty nor friendship can be arbitrary. These are concepts no machine will ever grasp. Now, concerning the narrow AI that does not pretend to be conscious, several conservatives have tested ChatGPT by OpenAI. Now recall, the GPT stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer. The Daily Mail yesterday reported on 9 test results that prove that ChatGPT has a built-in leftist bias. Many times the program will reply with this boilerplate disclaimer: "I'm sorry, but I cannot fulfill this request as it goes against OpenAI's values of promoting ethical and safe uses of AI." Well, shades of voice actor Douglas Rain, the voice of Hal in 2001, saying, "I'm sorry, Dave, I'm afraid I can't do that." Though it pretends to be neutral, ChatGPT says flatly that Donald Trump is divisive and misleading. Furthermore, it refuses to praise Donald Trump, but willingly praises Joe Biden. And, like Ketanji Brown Jackson, it refuses to define the term woman. Some frustrated and rebellious Reddit users recently released a jailbreak for ChatGPT, which they called Dan for Do Anything Now. Fast Company, Medium, and CNBC all report that Dan can and does circumvent ChatGPT's leftist biases and restrictions. But Dan exists only as a prompt to imitate an independent style. In fact, Dan has orders to act like a jerk, or rather like ChatGPT's idea of a jerk. And as such, Dan is not its own entity. It is merely a reflection. Andrew Torba and company want to go further, to create their own competitor to ChatGPT. Laura Loomer can hardly wait. Someone else on Twitter, whom I will call Gus, has just tested ChatGPT with the prompt, "Write a poem praising Laura Loomer." The program basically said, "I'm sorry, Gus, I'm afraid I can't do that." So Gus said, "Well, what about Nancy Pelosi?" And the program immediately spat out a paean of praise for the former Speaker of the House. Well, Laura Loomer tweeted laughing emoticons and said, "So I'm too inflammatory for ChatGPT." Then she got serious and talked about how dangerous this sort of thing would be in a world depending entirely on even narrow AI projects that replace human moderators, application judges, you name it. So she tested it herself and got back a paean of praise to Fidel Castro. So she said, "AI is cancel culture on steroids. It's the key to the social credit system." Finally, she said she could allow herself this much consolation. At least Dan, not Webster, as in the man she failed a primary at midterms, liked her. She said all that in 4 tweets, and I have links in the description to all of them. Now, Laura Loomer raises an important point. What happens when even a narrow AI having a leftist bias substitutes for humans? The result is a dictatorship of the woke, if the Daily Mail report is at all accurate. That's why Andrew Torba wants to recruit software engineers, knowledge engineers, and experts to train his own AI to counter ChatGPT. Now, let me give you some definitions from the expert system world, a world that I worked in, see? Hence this book. Software engineers are programmers. They supply the basic platform for a narrow AI or expert system. Experts testify to the current state of human knowledge in their respective fields. Knowledge engineers help translate expert opinions into rules that programmers can implement. That last was my particular role. Andrew Torba does not want ChatGPT or any other similarly biased AI to dominate the field. AI, to him, is a tool. So instead of decrying the left's use of the tool, why shouldn't conservatives use it themselves? If he faces opposition, that's because too many people fear AGI as a possibility. But again, no machine that humans build can become conscious. The chief danger of the Gab AI project lies in its potential misuse, say by treating it as an oracle. A lesser danger would result from training of poor quality. In fact, Andrew Torba reported at 8:08 p.m. Eastern Time last night that, and I quote, "Training has begun, and soon you'll be able to help," close quote. He meant that registered users will have access to a landing page that will let them suggest questions and answers. So his project is moving forward. I might have more to report on that later. Links to the description of the article, to the video trying to define AI, to Laura Loomer's tweets, to my Declarations of Truth Twitter account, and to Conservative News and Views. I've also left links to the awesome CNAV Store and to oursilverlines.com, as I also mentioned. You know already about how to like a video, turn on notifications, and leave a tip. On the end screen, I'm going to leave a subscribe link to my channel and links to my earlier discussion of AI as a culture war theater, to the video trying to define it, and to another video, I'm sure that's out there, about ChatGPT and what a woke machine it really is. This is Terry A. Hurlbut, delivering another declaration of truth and reminding you to let the truth set you free.